put your solution into the fridge, it's going to drop to the bottom, okay? So it has come to my attention that there's one simple question that just keeps reappearing in the comment section all the time, and that is the question about how you should store your Ru58841 solution, and the same goes for CB or any other solution you're using a powder and a liquid together. So today we're going to talk about something called suspension. So to make this a little more easy to understand what a suspension is, I have prepared 3 glasses of water. I have then added some salt in each glass, and it goes from slightly to a moderate to heavy amount of salt in them. And what I'm going to explain to you now, guys, is how suspension works. So basically what you're going to see here in the video I'm going to post over is that in the first glass here you can't see any salt at the bottom of the glass. Although in the next glass, the one in the middle, you can see there's a slight amount of salt in the bottom. And then in the last glass you can see there's, well, you noticed more salt in the bottom. And this is what is expected when you put in more salt, then you can dissolve into water. So where am I going with all this salt and water stuff? Let's take the glass in the middle and start with that. If I were to heat up this water, then the salt would dissolve into the water. That's what you know when you cook pasta and stuff. You know, you boil the water, you add some salt, and if the water is not boiling, you can't add as much salt. The same goes the other way around. So if I were to cool down this glass of water, there would be even more salt going into what's called suspension. So it would crystallize in the water and then drop to the bottom where the rest of the salt is. That is what we call a suspension. That is when something that is dissolved into liquid is going to materialize and drop to the bottom. Now, what's the point of all of this? Well, you guys keep asking me if you should put your Ru into the fridge. As I just explained to you guys, what happens when you cool down a solution you have made? It's going to go into a suspension, then it will crystallize and drop to the bottom. So basically, guys, if you put Ru58841 into the fridge, your powder is going to end at the bottom of your flask or whatever you're storing it in. And if you shake it up, like I can do this one, it is still going to be in suspension. This is my whole point about the suspension. So now the salt is moving around, but as you can see, it is still dropping to the bottom. The same thing goes for Ru58841. If you cool it down, the powder will crystallize and drop to the bottom. This is why I don't store my Ru58841 or anything else in the fridge, because when I take my dropper and I suck something up of here, I'm going to take from the top and the powder will stay at the bottom. But basically what I'm trying to say with this is, guys, just don't put the solution into your fridge, okay? It's going to last, it's not gonna go bad, but if you put your solution into the fridge, it's going to drop to the bottom, okay? So you're just going to either use ethanol on your scalp or just minoxidil and no Ru58841, or even lesser than you were expecting. Now there is one exception to this. That is if you add more ethanol or alcohol to the solution, but I wouldn't advise this. So if you add more alcohol to a solution, what's called the suspension threshold will change, meaning that you can add more salt or whatever to a solution and it will still dissolve before crystallizing at any point. But I would not recommend doing this, because if you add more alcohol to your solution, then you are going to put more alcohol on your scalp. And as some of you guys have noticed, it can give some flaky scalps and stuff. So I wouldn't start messing around with this. just because you want to put it in the fridge. That's all for me today, guys. I hope this will be the end of this question. I noticed nobody on YouTube has made a topic on this. So I thought, okay, since a lot of you guys are asking about this, you are searching, I'm sure you are. I'm just going to make this one video with this topic, nothing else, and I hope this can be the end of that question. Okay, until next time, guys. Cheers.